Oh, yo, what up? It's your boy, Perry Randle the third. Like I advertised earlier, we have another interview. This time we got one of my favorites. His name is Chris Haynes. He's a writer, sideline reporter, and we got some other stuff that I'm gonna talk about that he does, but he's definitely the truth. He has a great rapport with players in the NBA, guys like Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, all these guys. He has a great rapport with them, and I'm excited to have him on. I got a lot of fun questions that he's probably never been asked before, so should be fun. We're just waiting on him to join. Thank you for everybody for joining. Got the Vision Over Sight shirt. Go copy one. It's in the bio. And I did come up with a name for the show, I guess. It's called Real Talk. So today's gonna be Real Talk with Chris Haynes. Just waiting for him to join. Here we go.
What's up, bro?
Chris, what's up, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm chilling, man. How you doing, fam?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored, man.
That's what's up, man. I like to hear it. Love to hear it, man.
First and foremost, I just want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy day. You just broke the story about Damian Lillard missing game five. And after what just happened last night, when they just got bamboozled by the Lakers. I don't know what happened last night, but
I wasn't expecting that, man. It was a 40 point. It didn't take long for them to build up a sizable lead, man. Once they got that lead, they wasn't letting go.
well, it was Mamba Day, so you knew they was about to put on for
No,
Kobe.
for sure, for sure. But I seen the Lakers. I believe it was I was there. It's funny. It was the first game after Kobe had passed, and the
Yeah.
Blazers were their first opponent, and in Staples Center. And the Blazers put it on them. Dame had like 40 something. So I
Yeah.
was kind of like, I wouldn't have been surprised if they laid an egg just because the emotions were so raw. But nah, but they flipped the script last night.
And I think that LeBron probably knew that in the back of his head. He knew what they did to him that night.
No, probably
You know,
so. Yeah, probably so. He's on a mission, man. He's been playing well his last 3 games, man. He wasn't even playing well in the seeding games, but no, he's been coming with it.
yeah, he's going for four, but let's go ahead and get some of these questions. First and foremost, have you smiled today?
You said, how about what?
Have you smiled today?
How about smile today? Man, that is a good. I've never been asked that question, man. How about smile? I would like to. I would like to think so, man.
Well,
But
if you
I can't.
have, and
I
what
can't
have you
back that
smiled
one up.
about?
Ooh, man. You
You
know
ain't getting
what?
no you ain't getting no fresh bubble cut today.
Not today, man. That's why I'm glad I got the hat on, man. When you see the hat on, man, I know I'm not too good up here right now. But
Hey, I gotta make sure it's you because usually you got on white tee, some black forces. I gotta make sure it's you.
hey, that's the attire, man. I like to keep it sweet and simple, man. You know
ain't
what I mean?
not ain't nothing wrong with that. But as long as you feel like you smiled today, that's what's most
Hey,
important.
I smile right now, man. You gotta smile at me asking that question, so
Hey,
I can
that's
answer it
beautiful.
again.
But for those who don't know and didn't hear earlier, this is Chris Haynes, writer, sideline reporter. Used to be and maybe still is a hooper. And
Don't disrespect the dog. Go ahead, man. I'll let you finish, man.
and even you was even a rapper. This quarantine, no games to cover.
I had too much time on my hands, man. I
Man,
had way
that
too much
look,
time.
the track didn't go platinum. It went double uranium, as Dave Chappelle would like to say.
Man. I don't know if it with that, man. I don't know if it with
So,
that, man.
but other than the track you dropped, what was your life like during the NBA hiatus?
Man, I was just around the house for, so what, like 3 months, and I've been covering the league for like 10 years now. This is my 10th season, and so I haven't been home like that in 10 years, man.
Yeah,
Like, so I had to really, like, seriously get reacquainted with my family. You know, what I mean? like serious. I'm used to like coming, being here for a minute. They seeing daddy that I'm off. That I,
Yeah.
check in on them when I'm gone. But it's different like when you just there. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So that was cool. That was cool, and just getting the bond and getting to know them a little bit better. I know that sounds bad, but that's the reality of it, man.
Yeah.
That's the reality of this lifestyle, this job. You're going so much, you're traveling so much. But no, it was cool for the most part. I went camping at
Oh.
a certain point. I've never done that. You know what I mean? We don't go camping. Black people don't do that type of stuff, man, too
Yeah.
often. So, but I went and did that. Went and rented an RV. What else I did? Did
You
I
was
do?
an endangered species out there, man.
I was, man. I was the only found my kind, man. But it was cool, man. Like the place I went to this forest and it had a waterfall where people would hike up there
Yeah.
and just check out the view. But there was no cell phone reception. And
Mm.
I've never been without my phone for a 2-day span. Yeah, we were there for 48 hours. And so that was weird, but it was so peaceful at the same time. So I got to do a lot of stuff that I haven't been accustomed to doing over this last decade.
I ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what quarantine I think did for a lot of people. Show them some things that, I haven't did that or I haven't did that in a while. And I need to work on that. So I
Yeah,
think it probably did that for a lot of people.
no, for
But
sure.
you was one of the first people to the bubble, am I correct?
Yeah, me and Malika Andrews, we first got here on June 29th.
Shout out Malika.
For
Love the
sure.
work that she does on ESPN. But whenever the NBA players I got there, there were some pictures that came out about the food that they was getting. So, was you cool with the food that you was getting when you first got there, or you was like, oh, this ain't my taste buds?
Man, hell no. Man, before, first of all, the players got here they started arriving on July 7th. So I was experiencing all that before they got here. I was complaining before they were complaining. You know, now they had like CJ McCollum and Quinn Cook, a few other players, they were calling me, like trying to get the lay of the land before they got here. Like, is the food really that bad? And I'm just like, man, like, bro, it's gonna take some getting used to. But that was just during the quarantine period. Well, I'll say this. For the players, it was just during the quarantine period where they had to eat those like lunches or dinners that were in these cartridges, and that's
I
it,
saw I saw Dwight Howard's video chat every day, and the food didn't look too
yeah,
amazing.
man. Yeah, they had to go through that through quarantine. Now,
Right.
media, that's our everyday food. So they ain't got nothing to complain about. So like once they finished quarantine, like I believe it was 3 days at the time,
Mhm.
then they had access to the restaurants that's on campus. Um, then there were some restaurants on offsite that they can
Right.
order from as well. And so they had a little bit more options. But now, like even right now, like the media, we get that same food that we're complaining about, but we have access to those offsite
Yeah.
restaurants as well. And so I pretty much eat there every single day. I really don't eat this food.
Well, my question to you would be because I love soul food. I love fried
Oh
catfish.
man,
I
come
love
on,
mac
dog.
and cheese,
So why
sweet
you doing that,
potatoes.
man? Why
Hey,
you doing that, dog?
hey, I'm just keeping it real with you. That's
Come
it.
on, hey, real talk, real talk. So I'm from California, Fresno, California. I had my girl ship me some soul food from California to Orlando, and get serious. She sent me like it was some ribs, potato salad, some yams, some greens, some German chocolate cake, some fried chicken. So she shipped all that right
Yeah.
to me, dog. It cost like $280 to get it
It,
shipped the
it,
next day.
it had to
You
be
know what I
worth
mean?
it though.
That's how much I worked. The meal cost $40, but the shipping was like $280. But that's how serious I wanted. That's how much I was feeding for my soul food.
But would that be the everyday? If you could have one meal, would that be the everyday meal you have in the bubble?
That's my go-to. I don't want to eat soul food every day, but
Oh
no,
yeah.
that's my number. Soul food is my. Come on, man. Like
Yeah.
that's my baby right there. And we have it. And shout out, damn. I don't want to shout out the wrong name, but a brother by the name of Joshua,
Mhm.
he's one of the few black-owned restaurants that were allowed to order from off campus. I
Mhm.
want to say his restaurant's name is Sienna's Soul Food, something along those lines. But he has some good quality food. So that's an option. But I believe with him, you're only able to order from him twice a week. So
Okay.
he's not open every day.
Okay.
So
Okay. I would be ordering those 2 days a week every day.
now the problem with that is, so when you order it, he only delivers at 6,
Mm,
and the games are going on at that time. So I'm
right.
not here to pick it up. And there's actually the game going. I believe is there a game going on right now? Denver, Utah, I
Yep.
believe. So
Utah 3-1.
yeah, okay, so I'm not going to that game. I'm doing the Clippers Mavericks tonight at 9. So that's why I'm still here.
So you told me 9, and I was like, ain't there a game?
Man, I was tripping, dog. I was tripping, man. Hey, dude, I lost track of times, days. Like somebody asked me, what did I do over the weekend? I'm like, the weekend? What's the weekend? Like for me, all I know is the Blazers Lakers play this day. After that, it's the Clippers and Mavericks. Like that's all I know. That's I don't know Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know. All I know is games every day. And so, I lost track of a lot of things, man.
All you know that is the day ends in a Y. That's all you know. That's
Hey,
all you know.
for sure, for sure.
But now I think that's how it was for a lot of people in quarantine, just days running together. I know that's how it was for me. But that's a good segue to my next question for you is with everything that you do as far as working at Yahoo Sports, um, NBA on TNT, podcasts, breaking news, how do you not get burnt out? What do you do to not get burnt out?
That's a good question. You can get burnt out. Obviously, if you're a journalist that specializes in news breaking, you got to be on your phone all the time. Like my phone is with me all the time. I'm on my phone probably 18 of the 24 hours. Like that's just the way. Like if you want to stay in this game and stay relevant, that's part of news breaking. But that's just one element of journalism. But that's one that I do thrive in. That's one I do
Right.
partake in. But yeah, you can get burned out. But I do think that what helps me not to get burned out is that I love what I do.
Hmm.
And I've been on the other end where at a I worked at a desktop. I worked in the office. I worked at a cubicle where I had to sit there for 8, 9, 10 hours a day. I was miserable as hell. I worked in the factory. I worked in the factory where I was in a warehouse for 12 hours a day. I worked as a security guard, walking around aimlessly. So I have a perspective of, it can be the alternative. Not to say that those jobs are bad. That's just something
Right.
I wouldn't want to be doing. And so that helps. I don't like I like for things to change constantly. And with this job, I'm never in one place. There's always something going on. There's a bunch of different levels. I may have to fly here for a sit down. I may have to fly here to do a story. I'm in different arenas. I'm in different hotels. I'm in different cities. So I just like the unknown of this job. So that kind of helps me with not getting burnt out.
It sounded like you had a lot of jobs where you would break down the hours and count like I got 10 minutes to go to
The
this.
hours? No, I'll break it down to seconds, dog. The seconds, man. Like for real, like there's nothing like I worked at it. Check this out. So um before I went back to school, like because I just wanted to hoop. Like I wanted to
Hmm.
go play overseas. That was my whole thing. And I wasn't really taking the right classes. I would just take classes, easy classes, just to keep my GPA above a 2.0, just so
Right.
I was eligible. But it was one point. And so I stopped playing college ball. I'm like 23, 24. I decided to work in Napa. I got 2 kids to feed. Uh, so I got a family. It's growing. And so I worked at Napa just to try to, get myself out of playing ball, that mentality, to try to enter the real world. So I'm
Right.
in Napa Auto Parts working as a delivery driver, right? And so I'm making at this time, I think I'm making like $8 an hour or something like that. And then I found out, well, I would observe my supervisor. My supervisor will come in 2 hours before I would get there in the morning, and he would stay over 3 hours after the store closed just to make sure everything was straight.
Hmm.
And so this position as a supervisor is a position that everybody thrives to be. Like that's the one of the hierarchy positions in the company. You want to be a supervisor of a store. And so I wanted to do that until I found out that this guy only made $3 more than me. So I'm like, hold on. Like, this shit don't add up. Like, he gets here 2 hours before I do.
Yeah.
He leaves 3 hours after the store closes. I'm way gone, and he gets $3 more an hour. I was like, I'm going back to school. I gotta finish school. And so that's when I went back to school, and I knew like I couldn't do that, because that wasn't something that I, like you said, it's so depressing. I've been in a situation, it's so depressing to be in a job or a career that you just dread going to.
Right.
Because you get there at 8:30 and you look at the clock like, damn, I gotta be here till 5 p.m. That's one of the worst feelings, when you gotta continually go through that each and every single day. And so I'm so glad and fortunate and blessed, because nothing but God, but I'm so blessed that he put me in this position in order I could, do this.
Right. Absolutely. I can understand that,
Give me,
especially if you're not doing what you love.
hold on, Pete. Pete, give me 2 seconds. Hold on.
Okay. It's commercial break, everybody. Go use the bathroom if you need to. Look at some of the comments. Hustle and motivate. I love it. Justice for Jacob Blake. We'll get to that here in a second. 559, shout out. Tall, shout out those guys. We're gonna wait for him to jump back on. Told y'all he a busy man. You never know what he gonna be doing. All right, here he is. Come back. Not yet. If you guys have any questions that you want me to ask Chris, and I got time to get to some of them, go ahead, drop them in the chat. He probably is breaking some news right now. Hey, he just broke the news about Dame gonna be missing Game 5, man. That's gonna be big. But LeBron's on a mission anyway. Said, bro, stay on here breaking a story right now. I already told y'all. That's what he do. And it's the middle of the day. Oh yeah. This boy don't sleep. I already know. Shout out Steve Walls, KC. Go check out some of his content covering the Chiefs, sports and pop culture. Shout out to him. Hopefully, if I do enough of these, I'll get some commercials to play through these times. I need that boy from State Farm Insurance, Allstate, stand one of those two. What college did Chris play at? I believe he played at Sacramento Community College. There he is. He coming back on. Shout out Jay Rich. Yo.
What's up, bro? My bad. Hey,
Hey, no,
in,
you good.
in about 3 minutes, I'm at to switch back and press this tweet button. I'm putting
Well,
this story out. But no, we good. We gonna finish this.
okay. Hey, I was telling them, I was like, look, I need some commercial breaks. This guy is busy, so you might have a few of these.
Nah, that's good. I just do one more. So probably about 3 minutes. I'll put it out.
All right,
Let's
let
get
me.
this ready.
I'm gonna try and wrap this up. So I know you're a
No,
busy man.
don't. You straight. You straight,
All right,
man. I
all
got
right,
time, man.
all right. Well, some of the people they're asking, and this is gonna play into one of my questions. They're asking about what college you went to. Uh,
So I first started at Sacramento Junior College. That was my first stint. Then I got a scholarship to Fresno Pacific University, which at the time was an NAIA school, but it's a Division I AA school now. And so that's my basketball college
Well,
basketball jersey.
I was doing some research and I saw one of your old posts, and it was about your number. You was getting gifted your jersey,
Yeah, yeah. No,
and
that
so,
was
some of the hashtags you were using made me laugh. So I'm gonna run through them real quick for the people watching that don't
Go
know what
ahead.
I'm talking about.
Go ahead.
Some of the hashtags. First, you said you was the least accomplished player to get it.
I'm pretty sure of that fact.
Hashtag score 4 points twice.
Uh-huh.
Hashtag 4 rebounds, 4 fouls all season. And hashtag 4 splinters and 4 appearances.
Oh man, yeah, that's probably being generous. So that was, man. So I left midway during the season that year, and
Hmm.
so I didn't play much, and in high school it took me a while. That's why I was so proud that I ended up getting a basketball scholarship because in high school, depending on where your high school is at. So I'm
Right.
6'2". So at 6'2" in high school, I was a big man. I was a power forward, 6'2" in high school. And
In
it doesn't
Fresno?
in Fresno. See, times has changed, man. Times has changed. Like now, they grooming 6'8", 6'9" guys to be guards. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a forward, like somewhat three, but really a power forward in high school. And
Yeah.
so when I got to college, like I was athletic. Like I could dunk off drop step and all that. I was athletic. And so when I got to college, JC, that was my first time trying to transition to playing on the perimeter. My handles weren't the best at all, but I had a quick first step. I'm quick and I'm athletic, and the shot was decent. And so that was a transition period for me. And so after I left Sac City and went back home, like I quit mid-season. Some things were going on personally, so I quit mid-season. Then went back home, and so for like a year and a half, I just worked on my game back at home, like worked on my handles and just putting in work. And then I got a scholarship offer from Fresno Pacific University. So that's kind of how that came about. But yeah, Sac City, I love my coach. I love my coach, man. And we kind of got into it in college, but we've gotten real tighter since then. I've always kept in
Right.
touch. And so that retiring my jersey or giving me my jersey, it had absolutely nothing to do with what I did on the court. I'm pretty sure it's what I did after I left the school.
Hey, not too many people that get their jersey gifted to them have the number 44. So I know it had to be something other than for basketball.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, what guards wearing 44? You know what I'm saying? So that tell you all
Hey,
you need to know.
hey, you said that you was athletic, you had a quick first step, the shot was decent, the handles weren't all the way there. But with all that being said, what NBA team, if you're at your prime, at your peak, what NBA team did you think that you could play for with that skill set?
I didn't think I could. Like I didn't envision the NBA. I thought I
Well,
was
I'm
going.
I'm I'm saying if you was at your prime right now and you had, the best of your abilities, still athletic, still got the quick first step, what would be the team that you would fit best on?
Which
Don't tell me Houston. Don't tell me.
I'm gonna say the G League, man. I'm gonna say
All
the G
right.
League. Come on, man. Like I gotta be real with myself. My prime wasn't good enough. You
Yeah.
know, to play with anybody. But it's just different, man. Like you said, the skill set. Now I'm about to tweet this, so hold on. Let me
Go
tweet
ahead.
this.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I told you this is gonna be some fun questions, yo. Fun questions. About halfway through this, got a few more, and then we'll wrap it up. I'm just glad that he a soul food brother like me. Yeah. And if you haven't heard his song "No Games to," you will now regret it. You will now regret it. I know, Mark. I want him to break it on here. I could have been part of the source, man. I asked Chris. I'm gonna make sure I ask everybody here in the chat, man. Have y'all smiled today? Put a little smile emoji in the chat if you smiled today. Okay, we got some soul food fans out there. I'm with it. I'm with it. Ooh, Mark, you think DPOY? I might have to give it to AD. That boy's something different, especially the way he been switching out on guards in this Portland series with Dame and CJ. I might have to give it to AD. But if Giannis got it, I wouldn't be mad. I don't know how to say your name, but your girlfriend is mad at you. Just go rub her feet. She'll be all right. Let's see. Wait for Chris to hop back on here. See, I need some commercials right now. This be perfect. Anybody that got some partnerships that want to work, let's get to it. It's a great time to promote your business. Like I said, if you like the shirt, go copy it. The link is in the bio. Vision oversight. That's what it's all about. No matter what's in front of you, you got to have a bigger vision so you can make it through it. No, Chris is a comedian, man. Got back on here. Hey, we're back from the
All right.
commercial break.
All right.
Hey,
Nah,
welcome back.
nah. I had to report something, man. So I just reported that Buck star Giannis Antetokounmpo going to win the Defensive Player of the Year. Sources tell Yahoo Sports and
See,
Vision.
I'm not mad about him winning it. I had AD, but they both deserve it.
Yeah, I actually picked AD as well. But yeah, nah. I mean, what the Bucks are number one defensive rating. You know, Giannis guards 1 through 5, easy. You know, his defensive rating was off the charts. No, you can't complain. You
Right.
can't complain.
But to continue what we was talking about, as far as your upbringing, you went to Fresno Pacific, Sac City Community College. Um, it seems like we had a similar upbringing, maybe not the complete same, but a similar upbringing. Uh, I saw that you used to get bad grades. I used to get bad grades,
Oh man.
and my mom used to have to bribe me. I'm gonna pay you to bring home an A, please. And
Yeah.
then also your father's a minister, and both of my mom and my father, they're ministers. So we've had a similar upbringing. That's why I really appreciate you because I personally I love telling jokes, but I love also spitting facts. And that's what you do. Your rapport with players is amazing, but I could tell that it's also plays into your upbringing. So my question to you would be, how does your personal character be balanced with your professional character? Because you don't want to be too professional where you lose who you are. So how does that work for you?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, these players, they're people, they're human beings. And obviously where I came from, how I was raised is very similar to a lot of, you know, how these guys were raised. You know, we talking about their backgrounds, you know, dealing with certain aspects of life of just being a black man and being a black kid, you know, growing up in poverty, drugs, gangs, or whatever. And so, I mean, just being relatable, that helps. I can't argue with that. I can't deny that. But I have a job to do, and they understand that. But I do think what helps me is that I don't view these players as just players; they're human beings, and I think for the most part, they've been able to see that about me and be able to understand that I'm not here just to simply get or
Right.
ask. Like I'm coming to you, I'm like, you know, how you doing? What's up, bro? Like, how's the family? How's the kids? Anything new? You know, stuff like that. And so at the end of the day, I think that's how I've been able to I don't know if it's rise up the ranks or just just to be able to last in this industry. Because real recognize real,
Mm.
period. Real recognize real, and so um, that is that. I think that's probably one of the most probably the most decent traits that helped me, just to be able to survive in this industry.
So would you say that that's the thing that makes you unique, separates you from other? Because not to say that no other reporters are you are real and honest, but do you feel like that's what is unique about you?
I just try. I think what you got to do is be yourself, man. You got. I think you have to learn how to be yourself, and you have to learn how to be yourself and figure out how to go about your job without not asking all the time.
Right.
You know, that's it. That's it. And look right here. They're just they're announcing it on TV. They're announcing on. I don't know if you got on TNT. They're announcing on TV the Defense Player of the Year award. That's cool.
Boy, Giannis had a special
Yeah,
season.
I wasn't expecting that. Okay, got that soon. All right.
Does that
So,
happen often?
not this soon. I wasn't expecting it to get out. I mean, for them to make it official this soon.
Yeah.
But
But no,
but just being yourself, man. At the end of the day, man, these are these are people. You know what I'm saying? And I think if players know that you come when you come to them and you approach them, that they know that you're genuine, they respect it, and they'll be more forthcoming with giving information or being candid with you. And that's pretty much how I do my job.
and with that being said, I know that you are in contact with players like Damian Lillard, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, those guys. Out of those guys, who do you feel like has the biggest misconception about them as far as the public is concerned?
Probably Draymond. People hate Draymond. You know what I mean? A lot of people hate Draymond, his antics, and calling him a bum,
Yeah,
Mr. Triple Single, and all that. But Draymond is one of the
man.
like, smartest players, man, like in this game. And I'm not even talking about currently. I'm talking about one of the smartest players ever. Like
Yeah,
his IQ is just tremendous, and he doesn't get. I think real ballers and real hoopers know.
yeah,
People who have a real IQ of basketball know the value of Draymond, and
right.
particularly the value of him on that team and what he provides. And so that's this biggest misperception of Draymond is just that he doesn't have the skill set to do certain things. I mean, that's fine, but what he does it well.
Right.
When he's healthy, he does it well, and he's great at it. And
And
so
and
that's probably the guy.
it doesn't always show up in the numbers with how special he is, setting off screens for Curry, Clay, and honestly, just hearing him on NBA on TNT a few weeks ago, just talking about how they need to defend the coverage against the high screen and roll with Damian Lillard. I'm just like, man, that boy smart. He know what
And
he talking about.
that's what I think he'll be able to provide once he does step in. That's going to be his role after he
Yeah,
plays.
yeah,
So but what he adds is that he can say some things may that may cause some controversy. Like Charles Barkley or Shaq and those
yeah,
types of things. But one thing about Dre, he can talk the game
right.
to get people to understand, even the people that's just doesn't know all the nuances or the verbiage of certain plays that's called or whatever. He can say it in layman's terms to where most people can understand, and that's where I think, like Tony Romo, like things that Tony Romo does when he's commentating, Draymond will be able to add that element. So I think he's going to be valuable in that aspect.
And I think with him, although a lot of people might not like him, amongst his peers, he's still respected, and that's more important most of the times that you respect it. I respect you as a competitor. I respect you as a teammate. And you might not like him if he's not on your team, but if he's on your team, that's your boy.
For
I know
sure.
that's Steph boy, Clay boy, all of them. But
And
with
hey, don't get me wrong, he gets on Steph and Clay nerves a lot of times too. You know what I mean? He's not
yeah,
immune from that. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things that you want him in the foxhole with you. You
and
want him
that's
on the front lines with you.
and that's going back to what you said about just him being himself. that's appreciated not just amongst NBA players and reporters, but NBA players and players.
Mhm.
They all want to know that you're yourself, and
Yep.
I think that's what really is what makes other players trust you, especially your teammates. You know, we know that you know what you're talking about. We know that you're gonna get on me if I'm not doing this right, and that's what goes a long way, and that's what really is able to make a way for championships. And he's got a few of them.
No, for
So.
sure.
But with that being said, as far as how smart of a player he is, we're going to do the players that you haven't covered. Who are the three basketball minds that you would love to listen to? I know that you ask a lot of questions as far as like whenever you're reporting, so you do a lot of listening. But who would be those three basketball minds? I mean, man, I wish I was in the room with them.
That I haven't covered, like that I
Like you,
haven't been around.
I
So
can't
you're
let you
talking.
cheat. I gotta
So
gotta say
so
you
you're
haven't
talking.
covered.
All right. So you're talking guys that's not currently playing.
Have you covered everybody that's been playing?
I mean, shoot, I've been around. Shoot, all
10 years.
most of these guys, man. Yeah, like
So let's do it. Let's do it in the past. Let's do it in the past.
I mean, of course, Jordan,
Yep.
um, Larry Bird, because
Hmm.
he comes from like I love watching docs on Larry Bird because it's he didn't have the athleticism, he didn't have the
All right.
speed, but that guy was talking shit like crazy to the players. Like he was going at them. It was
Yeah.
that time like you didn't you had players that didn't respect um the skill set of white guys. You know what I
Right.
mean? Especially in that era. And so it's funny hearing some of the Cedric Maxwell, one of his teammates. When Bird came in as a rookie, you're like, who's this white boy coming? He gonna come take my spot and who do this? And
Hmm.
you see a couple games and you're like, okay, yeah, he the real deal. I just like hearing those stories, but just to know the mindset of Larry to
Right.
go into a league where it's mostly dominated by by black players and not just come in and dominate, but come in and talk trash,
Right.
like, and have the respect of them. Like, so Larry Bird is definitely just to get inside his mindset of what he was thinking, how he approached games, how he approached matchups. I would love to hear that. Jordan, Larry Bird, and probably my third one, maybe Magic Johnson, because when you think of Magic Johnson, I know he was an ultra competitor. But the way he played, he was always smiling. He's back. He was doing the no look passes before no look passes were popular.
Right.
Thing. And so he had a different way of going about it. It's like when you think of competitor, you think of somebody like Michael Jordan, somebody like Kobe Bryant, because when you look at their face, they got that snarl on their face. They're mean mugging. Magic didn't do that. So I was like, what was inside your mind? Like, did you
Right.
really were you really thinking I'm gonna kill this dude, but you were doing it with a smile, or were you really out there just having fun?
Say this
What I mean?
guy's sick.
Yeah, what type of mindset is that? Because when I'm in competitive mode, like in my job, like I ain't smiling, like I hang with myself, I get in a certain mode, in a certain
Right.
mood. Like I can't be all around you smiling, having fun, and still be competitive. But Magic does, and Steph Curry does that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But Magic, like just to get inside his head, just to see how he works and operates, that'd be cool.
See, I think for me, I think I would go Cole because I know I haven't covered the league yet, like being around these players, but
Uh,
I would pick Cole just because of his detail and the attention to detail, knowing that this player needs to be here, I need to do this, stuff
yeah.
like that. Of course, you got the show called detail, but just his mind. I think next person I would go with is Kareem. His knowledge of the game, one of the greatest winners we've ever seen, and his knowledge of the game, just since he was in the league and he's still around the league today.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would go with him. Last one, man. The last one always the toughest, man, because you don't want to leave nobody out.
You're gonna do it anyway, so go ahead, man. Go ahead. You gonna offend son.
I,
Welcome to our world, man.
I think the last one, I think I would go with Chris Paul.
Oh, that's a good one.
That
That's
that dude, smart.
that's a
Whew.
good one. That's a good one. And you touched on Kareem, like, and for me on Kareem, I would just like to pick his mind. Forget basketball, outside of basketball.
Right,
Like he's seen a lot. He's seen a lot. He was there with Muhammad Ali,
right,
Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Like he's been through a ton. And even basketball, like he wasn't allowed to dunk in college. They changed the rule
Yeah.
in college. Like you can't dunk. And just think about that. Like you can't dunk because this guy can basically do it whenever he wants to.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you take away my dunks, but then he invented arguably one of the most unstoppable moves with the sky.
Skyhook.
You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like he kept like imagine. I don't know how dominant or more dominant he would be if they didn't add that rule change at the beginning. But like that was, he's been through a lot. Him and Bill Russell, they've seen a lot. Like I would just like to pick their brain on life, man. That's awesome.
And speaking of that,
Mark, he
what?
did fight Bruce Lee. I'm gonna tell you. So my brother chimed in. I forgot what movie. Bruce Lee. Kareem was in the Bruce Lee movie.
Yeah.
And he was hey, no doubt. When I saw that movie, I was a little kid. I was scared of Kareem because Kareem was the villain in the movie, and he's like 7'3".
Yeah.
And I remember a scene. Y'all go watch this. Y'all don't know this. I forgot the name of that movie, Bruce Lee movie, but Kareem is the villain. There's one scene where Bruce Lee is running. He's running up the stairs, going up, and Kareem is at the bottom. And Kareem jumps and drop kicks Bruce Lee and
Mm.
sends him tumbling. Like he reached up that Kareem studied martial art. That's another thing. To be around Bruce Lee, man, I know Kareem has so many stories, man. So I have to take that back. Kareem would be one of the ones I want to pick in.
See that movie before my time.
Game of
I
Thrones. Hey, you gotta know your history, Pete. You gotta know your history, man.
I'm working on it.
Hey,
I'm always learning, always learning. I know Kareem as Dr. Skyhook from Martin. All right,
okay.
that's it.
So Mark, he wasn't even playing there with Martin died,
Nah, he was retired, man.
man.
He came in the room, almost hit his head.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking, no, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. There ain't nothing wrong
Nah,
with
but touching on with what you said about Kareem and being around Muhammad Ali, those guys during that time, and we're still in that time of fighting for Black Lives to Matter. I think it's so interesting that we're fighting so hard for this, but we haven't even got to the part where we're fighting for Black voices to matter.
that. Yeah,
And of course, you're one of the biggest Black voices in sports industry, media industry, and with a lot of white reporters covering these Black players, it's often that clash. So, what do you think minorities can do to exercise their voice more, not just in sports, but just in media in general?
let me say this. Let me say this. So I put out a tweet today, um, complimenting Taylor Rooks, and
Yeah, I saw that.
Taylor Rooks has been asking some phenomenal questions during this bubble. Um, it has been getting great responses as it pertains to social injustice and what's going on in society. Um, she does a great job with her questions, and that is a lost art in this profession. People don't know how to ask certain questions, don't know how to ask questions in general. Forget certain questions, and so I wanted to make sure I highlighted her as
Right.
being one of the few Black sisters in our industry. Um, and there's a lot that goes on. You know, she would be somebody you need to talk to, but I know there's a lot that goes on with being an attractive Black woman.
Right. That's man. I've been really reaching out to her because I really want to ask her about that.
There's a lot that goes on. I mean, look at the tweet she gets. Look at the tweet. Look at the tweet I put and read up under it and see some of the bullshit that comes out of what people's mouths and what they're tweeting. And
Ignorant.
it really is. And so I wanted to make sure I gave her flowers because there's a lot of people who are able to climb up the ranks and not deal with that type of stuff or not, man. So I feel for her. I feel for her in that situation. But she's doing an unbelievable job, man. So I want to make sure I give her credit. But to answer your question, it's a different time right now. It's a different time. I'm gonna just say it like it's a little uncomfortable time for me too because I'm here in the bubble and all of a sudden Black Lives Matter, everybody, or at least that's what they say.
Mm.
So everybody on campus is wearing. I'm not talking about players. I'm talking about staff. Everybody wearing these Black Lives Matter shirts. I mean, you can see it you can see it in the games, like when you're watching yeah, the people that's mopping up the floor. Everybody has the Black Lives Matter shirts. So now it's all of like, but Black Lives Matter didn't hold its weight and value a year ago, 6 months ago. You know, we've been talking about this for a while. Now all of a sudden it matters. And my problem is that I think for a lot of people, this is just a popular thing to do right now. It's popular. It's accepted. Have people's feelings towards black people change. Have people's views change. You know, and I don't know the real answer to that, but I definitely can say for sure that not all have, but yet everybody's wearing these Black Lives Matter shirts. Like, you know what I mean? We got Black Lives Matter written on the court. It's all cool. It's all fine and dandy. But has anybody changed their stance?
Right.
And so that's kind of my problem with it. I think it has gotten popularized and accepted. And you know, anything with black culture, right? It's always somebody's always taking the culture is always taken from us, right? They're always taking an attribute from us and making it their own. Whatever we do, it's always that's always been the case. And I don't want this situation to be that as well. But what I would just say is just like there's a few black reporters here in the bubble, right? My brother Mark Spears, Gary Washburn, Sean Powell, Taylor Rooks, myself, and I think that's it.
Malika.
Malika Andrews, sorry, Malika Andrews. And so I feel it's our obligation where we're at in society, what's going on, is to make sure we're touching on the right topics, considering where we're at in the society, and who better to broach these topics or ask these certain questions than people who have been through it myself. You know, I was arrested in front of my house for some bullshit like 4 or 5 years ago. You know what I mean? You could read up on that. You know, just standing outside in front of my house. Um, and a cop came over, thought I was trespassing, arrested me in front of my house. So I've been arrested multiple times for saying something's wrong with my car, but and but just they just want the opportunity to see who you are, you know, to scan your record and get you out the car, pat, all that nonsense, all that BS, right? And so when you have people who have gone through that in media, that's how you're going to be able to bring out the best coverage, of the bubble and what's going on in society. So I think still we have an opportunity to educate. We have an opportunity to go in certain places and topics that nobody else can go because nobody else has been through it. They can't relate.
Right. And I think we got to commend not only the reporters but players like Chris Paul, LeBron James, just basically everybody, for keeping the focus on that. They get asked questions like by Stephanie Reddy and Chris Paul. He's making sure, no, we need to talk about Jacob Blake. That wasn't right. And you got LeBron James doing the same thing, more than a vote. So I think that we need to continue and also commend the NBA players and what you all do while you guys are on this stage, because really you guys are the main sport that everybody's watching right now. Yeah, football, baseball's going on, but we're all watching basketball right now.
Yeah,
So I just really want to say thank you to you guys for making sure, because I was nervous about the NBA coming back. I didn't know if it was the right time or if it was gonna be a bad taste for everybody. But it seems like you guys are doing the best you can, because at the same time we're in the pandemic and there's no blueprint on how to do this.
yeah, no doubt.
You guys are just out there and you guys are doing it to the best of your ability. So I just want to commend you guys.
No, I appreciate that, bro. And the reason I did step into this industry or wanted to pursue a path in this industry is because I didn't see a lot of media members that look like myself. And
Mhm.
so I'm like, why is there people that don't look like me telling the stories of people who do look like me?
Right.
I'm like, okay, yeah, I mean, pretty sure they can do a good job, and they can. But I do believe I can tell my own story better than anybody. And I do believe I can tell another person's story who is went through the same things I went through. I believe I can tell it better than somebody who's never gone through that. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to get into the industry, to tell our stories, to give ourselves a better platform. Because I'm tired of certain narratives being told or established, and those narratives a lot of times they don't go away, and those narratives are created by people who don't look like us. So that was one of the reasons I got in.
Appreciate you, man. You inspire me. Keep going.
Keep doing
Got
that, bro.
got two more questions, and I'm gonna let you go. You got some
All right,
more news to break, man. But
it's all good, fam.
if you had to make a Mount Rushmore of your favorite basketball players, who you got? Not the best, because that can always go all different
Yeah,
ways. But your favorite,
Jordan. Oh, my favorite, not the
your
best. Okay.
not the best.
My favorite players. I'm gonna take. Well, I gotta put one. So no current guys. My favorite T Mac. That was
Hmm.
one of my favorite watching.
Gotcha.
Uh, Latrell Sprewell. You probably remember Latrell. Latrell Sprewell
Um,
was my favorite player.
the
That was
boy
my
Chuck the coach.
the one took the coach, man. The one took the coach. That was my favorite player growing up. I used to watch all. Growing up in Fresno, California, we got all the Warrior games. The Bay is like 3 hours away from me. So they were losing all the time. It was a bad team, but I watched them all the time. But yeah, uh, the Warriors. That was kind of my team growing up a little bit. But Sprewell is my player. So Sprewell, T Mac, Dwayne Wade,
Okay,
um, Dwayne Wade.
here we
That
go.
that's probably. I know I got about two more, but those three were like my favorite. Jordan was, of course, Jordan's everybody's favorite.
Right,
Some talk
right, right.
outside the box, but those are my favorite. Those are guys I just really rooted for. Like
Mm.
I just couldn't miss a game.
Okay. Well, last questions. My favorite. What's your favorite quote? I'm a big quote guy. So, what's your favorite quote?
That's funny because I'm not a big quote guy, so I don't.
Ah,
I'm not like I hear some and I'm like, oh, that's nice, but there's not one that sticks with me. But I will say this: I'm not a big quote guy, so I don't have one. But I'll say this: like we're just talking about, because I think this applies to career, life, or whatever. Like I get so many people, right, who want a career in this profession,
mm,
and so I had got a phone call. I they want to do what you do, and they see Stephen A. Smith up there. They see all these people, right? Even Skip Bayless. Now,
yeah.
regardless of what you think about Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless, whatever you think about them, you have to understand that before they were who they are now, for 30 years, 20, 30 years, they were beat writers. They were columnists. They grinded. They built up a level of credibility to where you can put them on this platform and have their voices respected. Now, you can argue that some people say, I don't respect certain voices, whatever. But regardless, the reason they're on that platform is because of the time and service they put in before. So when people say they want to come in and do this job, be on TV, where's your resume?
Right,
Like, where's your connections you have? You know what I mean? Like, where's the rapport that you built up? So then people can say, all right, we're putting you on here because not only do you know what you're talking about, you have the sources. You can call people and say this and say that. You know what I mean? You can't, like, a lot of people can talk basketball. I go in the barbershop all the time, and one thing I hear about, barbershop talk, right?
man.
Oh, they should trade such and such for such and such. And I gotta be that dude that be like, look, bro, he makes too much money. The salary won't match. You know what I mean? Like barbershop
Yeah,
talk, they don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about we gotta trade AD for such and such. I'm like, dude, the salary doesn't work. It can't happen. AD can't be traded for another month. It's
right,
things like that. You know what I mean? I gotta be that dude. And so you have to understand, like, there's work you have to put in, and you really do got to educate yourself beyond just basketball
right.
to make it here. So my thing is, it's like really do your homework. If there's somebody that you idolize, look up to in this industry, look at what they did to get there. Not to say that's what you got to do, because I didn't have to, like, the way I came up in and social media today and blogs out there now. I didn't have to do a high school beat for 5 years, college beat for 10 years, NBA beat for 10 years to get where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like, times are different, but still, that's why I was saying about Bruce Lee and Kareem. Like know your history. Like, know
Yeah.
your history in the littlest things, your sports aspects, sports media. Like, know your history, know the people who came before you, and then that will help you move on and progress. When you get in that role. So that's the one thing I just encourage people to just look up the past. Always know your history, not just Black history of what we've gone through in society. No, know the history in your career path.
Right.
That's very important.
I think me, I just got out of college. I've been doing homework for so long. I'm like, I gotta get back to it. But nah, it's a little different when you enjoy it.
Hey, hey, you said, yeah, it's different. Enjoy it. That's homework that a lot of that stuff you're not even gonna remember. Like, a lot of that stuff is not even going to apply,
Yeah.
for your life, moving forward. But the field you want to jump in, like, it's important to know where these
Right.
dudes come from, know how they got there, know the people behind the scenes that's doing the hiring. Like, you got to come to NA. Have you been to NABJ convention?
Not yet.
You know what that is, right?
I don't know too much about it.
National Association of Black Journalists. So you got to get involved with that. And so
Okay.
we have a convention every year. And every year we have, next summer it's in Houston. But it's about 5,000 of all Black media in the United States all get there for convention. It's a beautiful thing, man. So you got media from, whether you're a weather person, whether you're an executive producer, whether you're on camera, whether you're behind the scenes, off camera, whether you're a photographer, like, every media profession skill set, they're there, congregate. But it's a great networking tool, and it's a great to get in that fold, and we help you with job placements and things like that. But a lot of times, what happens at these conventions is that the youngsters will come up to me, Stephen A. Like, and I get that. I get that.
Mm,
Come up, we want to talk and chat. But a lot of times we're not in the position to hire.
right.
That's what a lot of people are looking for. Now, we can get you in front of the right people, but learning who those people are that's behind the scenes, because a lot of times those people that's behind the scenes is making some good money. And y'all don't know that those jobs exist. You know what I mean? And a lot of times those are the jobs that you should be, seeking.
Right.
People get so fascinated with seeing you on TV. Oh, that's the job I want. But man, the job that you should want is the guy who's telling me what time to get up, what show to be on, and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So, you, H Town, who is that? The Otsup, yeah, it's in H Town next summer. So hopefully we don't have this pandemic going on then, and we can all get together. But definitely, you should, brother, you and anybody on here, look into that. The NABJ, National Association of Black Journalists. It's a big thing. Everybody should be a part of it.
Will do, man. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your day. I'm glad that you smiled today. Thank you for joining me, man. It's always a pleasure. Person that, if somebody asks me who do I look up to in my field, I always say your name. So, man, I just appreciate you, and I look forward to working with you soon. So,
Bro,
thank you, and
hey,
hey, enjoy the game tonight. And I'll be watching.
hey, bro, you keep thriving, man. If you ever need anything on my end, man, reach out, man. I'll send you my number. But, man, I want to see us succeed. And to each one teach one, man. And so
Appreciate
that's
it.
what I want to hop on, man. But do your thing, man. Appreciate you.
All right, I'll see you later, Chris. Thank you.
All right, take care, bro.